Good morning in America and good evening in Africa.
Good morning.
Yeah. I feel very privileged to be introducing you, ma'am, because as a younger man, I was in your country. Actually, I was with Bishop Brown, and I enjoyed Liberian hospitality. And I have been smitten by the nation since then. So I consider myself an honorary Liberian, if I may say so myself. But today is about what you have and what you bring to the table and how America can connect with Liberian. We know that you are an astute businesswoman, an enduring fighter, a champion for women's rights, a strong supporter of girls' education, a financial expert by training, and a former banker. So you're at home here. Because in this room, we have 80 thereabout business leaders, CEO. We know that you're a lawyer, a senator, and now the Honorable Vice President of a nation of Liberia, the oldest independent country in Africa. We honor you, ma'am. And we just want to hear what is on your heart for your nation.
Well, let me say good morning to everyone on the stage, to thank Congressman David Bratt, Dean of the School of Business, and to all of our distinguished fellows and my colleagues who've spoken before me. I was listening to Vice President Osinbajo from Nigeria, and we're just grateful to have such a unique opportunity. Unfortunately, I can't be with you in person for circumstances beyond my control, but I'm very happy to have a chance to add my voice to this very important summit discussing equity for Africa. And I'm the first female vice president of my country. In addition to everything else that God has made possible, I'm just really grateful as a Christian leader to be with you this morning. I want to say that as we speak this afternoon here in Liberia and morning where you are, I must admit that the US and Liberia have a very unique relationship going far back for family ties and interactions and engagements long before we even became a nation. We have had a very special relationship with the United States. And I'm happy that governments before and our government remains committed to keeping this relationship alive, remains committed to working together in all spheres of life. And an opportunity such as this to speak in an environment where there are students is important to say so. A lot of the Black American students may not remember how strong these ties are, but as our moderator said, he's been to Liberia before. The fact is, someone might say that this is a racist country, but we were created in a special way, and we said all people from all walks of life, where they come from, once they have a Negro background, they can actually become citizens. So let me tell you, thank you for your honorary citizenship, and I'm happy that you had a very good time whilst here. But let me talk about Liberia. Our country is very unique, the first democratic African nation, created almost like America was. A lot of what we do here is parallel to the US government. Our form of government is Republican. Our Constitution is almost based on the American Constitution. Whatever we do is based on the American scenario. And you would hear people say that we are a child of the United States. But this child is 174 years old. We've actually gone through a very difficult time. I remember growing up here during the early years of the regime of President William R. Tolbert, who unfortunately was killed in 1980. And I grew up seeing a beautiful Liberia. I grew up seeing a country where our brothers keep us. I grew up seeing a vibrant economic nation. I grew up seeing Liberia as the star, the shining star for Africa. Many persons from across the world came to visit us. We were there for the apartheid days of South Africa. We were one of those who signed to make Israel a state, and we have a long history. But unfortunately, countries sometimes do take a wrong path. And it wasn't a war between Liberia and another country. It was an internal conflict that cost us more than 40 years. Since 1980 to 2020, it's actually been 40 years. So we've come through the wilderness. We've had our ups and our downs. But when you think about Liberia, you should always remember that we are a country of many, many, many natural resources. Human, natural. We have a government who's been in power for 3 years. We've had our challenges with Ebola. We've had our challenges now with Corona. That is a pandemic across the world. So we are affected in many ways. Our economy is a little down. Those who have come to invest in our different mineral resources have had to slow down because people had to go home. The world is just opening up. But the fact of the matter is that we have many, 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 many opportunities. And someone sitting where you are, or the students listening, may ask, what are the reasons for which someone could think to come and invest in Liberia? We have political stability. In 2018, our government was inducted into office, and we were the first government after more than 170 years that had a peaceful transfer of democratic power. So we have political stability. All countries have their issues, but we've managed over the last 3 years to hold critical elections. The system has been tested and tried. The judiciary has gotten involved in cases where there were different contestations on different issues. We've managed to keep the country stable. We have some benefits to come to people who want to come and invest in Liberia. The first one is a minimum restriction on the repatriation of profits. Liberia is a dual currency regime country. We have the Liberian dollar and we have the United States dollars. And whoever comes to invest can repatriate as much as they want without any hassle. So you can come to Monrovia and do your business and repatriate what you have. There is a low cost of labor. 60% of our population is young people between the ages of 18 and 35. A lot of them are underemployed because Africa has not yet managed to get involved with the industrial revolution that we need to get on board. We still have all of the, maybe 40% of the world's natural resources, but we're still selling our natural resources in their natural state. They are in process, and so we don't have the security that we need to sustain the economic gains that we could have. And so we have quite a lot of young people. We hope the garment industry and different industries that are looking for not cheap labor, but labor at a reasonable cost, because we want the young people who work in those industries to get their fair chance of work and capacity building, but also to be paid properly. So we're not advocating for cheap labor as it is, but we're advocating for partnerships with those who want to come and join, help us capacitate our people and pay them properly. We have abundant resources. I mean, from gold and diamond to coltan and everything in between. We have a tourism sector that is one of the most beautiful in the world. I know people won't want to hear this, but I think most people are tired of going to the Bermudas and Seychelles and to the other places. We have some of the most beautiful places across our country in the raw natural state. We have access to regional markets. Now we're about to do a census, and hopefully by the end of this year, we should get an actual number of how many citizens we have. But we keep saying 5 million, at the medium. With 5 million people, someone could say, why should I come and invest in Liberia? The fact is, ECOWAS is now a community of states. Not a community of states, we have become a community of persons. And so when you look at Liberia and all we give, or all we bring to the table, you must remember that we are part of a community. And so all of the countries that are involved in the ECOWAS region are now countries that have access to those markets. So we have access to the ECOWAS sub-regional markets, which is a market of over 400 million persons. We have access to the European Union. We have access to the American AGOA initiative that provides opportunities for Americans and Liberians to integrate and become partners. We have unlimited resources in agriculture and fisheries and forestry and mining. But our emphasis as a government is now being shifted to value added to our products. We don't want to send out brown logs out of Liberia anymore. We're trying to keep our rainforests. So if we're doing a little bit of logging, it has to include processing so that capacity is built and transferred to our young people. We have also a lot of policies and laws that protect those who come to invest in our country. We have investors that are working here, Mittal Steel, for example, the steel giant. We have GVL, the Golden Verolian giant for palm products. So there are quite a few. We have Firestone, the American rubber giant that also have huge tracts of land. They've employed quite a few number of Liberians. And so, initially, these are my initial remarks that we are available. Our country is open for business, as our president has said. We're looking for partners to come and join us to help build our country. And where could we look that is more equitable and more friendly than those from the United States? Because of our heritage and the way we were created and our links, we still have not yet gotten a fair chance from the American market to investors who want to come and invest in our country. The fact is that we're an English-speaking country. We have the U.S. currency as a legitimate currency in our country, and we provide many benefits for a relationship beginning Liberia and America. And so I look forward to having some people come and visit. Hopefully out of this Equity for Africa Summit, some people can get an interest in what we're doing here and come and help us build this beautiful country that we have. Let me say thank you again for such a unique opportunity. I'm privileged.
Vice President Taylor, let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, everybody. Vice President Taylor, it's our honor at Liberty University to have you with us. Is this, yeah. Sorry, yeah. We have 70 very powerful CEOs from around the country here with us. They all are here, not only because they want to do business, but they want to help, like you just said, to build a network over the long term with Africa and with Liberia. And so if you could share with us, we're going to be looking into setting up breakout rooms with your governors coming up, and also with your finance chairs that we could talk to tomorrow as well. All of our business people here want to know how to make contact with you and your officers. And so if you could share with us what's the best way for the CEOs in this room and the connectors at the World Bank and the development banks and some of the connectors to be in touch to make this happen and expedite things this year.
And because of the importance of such a relationship, a mutually rewarding relationship, my office is available. Anyone can write out. We'll try and get our details out to you so that you can share it. Once you come and you visit us, we have the NIC, the National Investment Commission, that sits with the groups that come to visit to look at the opportunities that are available. And then if you decide if you want to be in agriculture or forestry or tourism or whatever manufacturing you want to do, then we can take it from there. But I want to use my office as the office that is opened and available to help transition anyone who's interested in coming to Liberia. We have an embassy in Washington, D.C. that will help facilitate anyone who wants to come and visit. And we have a good relationship between both of the countries in a way to make visas very easy. We have visas on arrival in our country also. And I would just want to make myself available, and I'll prepare the details for you so that if someone is interested in coming to Liberia, we can actually facilitate their coming so that they're able to see the best of what we have. Sometimes people like to remember the old stories. I keep saying that 2020 is gone. I think 2020 was the worst year in human history as far as we are concerned in this 100-year generation, and there are new opportunities across the board. And we would like to be the face of American investment. I think that's why Liberia was created, and I wouldn't suggest they go anywhere else. I want to invite them to come to Liberia. Our country is open for business, and I'll do everything I can to facilitate any movement of persons or a trade mission that would like to come and visit our beautiful country.
Thank you. Another person who made this summit successful is Kevin Jessup. He's brought many successful CEOs here. And Kevin, do you want to weigh in?
Her Excellency Taylor, it is such an honor to have you with us today. And I thank you for the balance of ministry, business, and government that you represent, working together synergistically. My one question to you is, having been on a working group at the UN concerning how the coronavirus pandemic has potentially threatened global food supply. You mentioned it a couple of times, especially how 2020 was so difficult. Can you share with us how this pandemic has resulted in a negative influence, and how and what that outcome has been, the effect on the nation, both in trade and economy?
Thank you. The fact is that COVID has affected the entire world, and we are just a developing country. But there's something strange happening on the African continent, minus South Africa. The fact is that all of our COVID numbers across West Africa are actually reducing. Maybe it's the vitamin C from the sun that we have a lot of, but our numbers aren't as high as was expected. We're grateful that with the partnership we've gotten from all of our international partners, we now have vaccines available across West Africa, and people are getting vaccinated. Though our numbers are low, we're calling for vaccinations of everyone below the age of 18, and we're hoping that as we started about 3 weeks ago, we'll continue to do this to make sure our environments are safe. And so COVID has affected us in a way where the international business climate has been reduced because everything has shut down. So we're at the back end. All of the large companies that were working here in Liberia, had a little slowdown. We had to shut down our government for almost 3 months to make sure people stayed home and that we wouldn't be able to transmit the disease as it was happening in other areas, because people kept moving around. So we actually shut down for 3 months. We were on a go slow for a long time. We're now opening up. We're encouraging the wearing of masks and all of the health protocols that have been given by our government. We're observing them. And so our numbers aren't that high. What we're interested in doing now is to begin to work, because the world cannot be shut down. Let's just talk about food security. Even if you're home and you're not able to go to work, or if you are on the new virtual platforms that most businesses are doing now because we can't all meet together, what about food? How do we get food? How do we get farmers back into the field so that they can grow food? What has been a good offshoot of the war is that for 40 years, we didn't do any serious farming. And so Liberia is ripe for organic farming. The land has remained as it is over the last 40 years, except for little bits of farming here and there at the subsistence level. And so we have encouraged our people to get back on the farms, get back on the production lines. We're looking forward to relationships with companies and others who might be interested in the agriculture sector to do organic farming. And that is just one end of it. Of course, we have rubber, we have palm, we have coffee and cocoa. So there are a lot of opportunities in the agriculture sector. The reason why I believe that is the most important sector that must get back online, not just here in Liberia or across the world, is because agriculture does several things at the same time. It provides job opportunities, it provides food security, it provides technology transfer, it provides capacity building for the young people, and on and on and on. And it provides sustained economic development for any country. And so we hope people will look at the agriculture sector. And of course, if you're here, you have to go and visit our beautiful beaches and see the beautiful tourism sites that we have across our country. So COVID has affected us because it has slowed down a lot of economic activity, but things are now slowly getting back on track. And we're trying to zero in on the industry that can provide immediate benefits. If you're doing, for example, vegetables, it's just a few weeks. Because our soil is virgin and organic, again, it provides a whole new outlook as we look at the culture, the climate change and the other things that are also important in the governance structure.
Vice President Taylor, it has been an honor to have you with us at Liberty University. I think all of our students, based on you are so good at selling your country, we're all going to come visit you next year. So, please,
I would love that. And I would like to have a relationship between the Liberty University and the University of Liberia. So we'll talk about that in the background. So then we can come in and exchange ideas and let the young people get engaged. This is their world. This is their time. And whatever they create is what we will live with. And we can't be left behind. We really want a solid relationship going forward that we can actually use in a mutually rewarding way. I am so grateful.
No, we're grateful. We have a student, Emanuela Tar, at Liberty from Liberia. She wanted to be with us today, but she's off studying hard. And so we'll connect her as well. But you're in good hands going forward. Kevin Jessup has a global connector website. Liberty and Kevin, we're going to team up. So this is not just a summit for one day. This is just the first day, the first steps of building up these relationships. And with Dr. Shayo and this team on board, we're going to have success. And God's favor is shining down upon Liberia. You've always been a great friend of the United States. And so we're honored to have you with us today. And we can't wait for this COVID to break when we can have you in person.
I know, it's so amazing. And what we hope, I will follow through over the next couple of days to see what's happening. And as I said, our country is open and I'm available. Whatever I can do to help, I will make all I can to make that possible.
Thank you. And if you will just have your team and your financial folks reach out to us, we will keep the breakout rooms going for the next 2 days so our CEOs can talk directly to you and your team. God bless you and thank you. It's been an honor to have you with us. God bless.
Thank you. God bless you.
Give her a warm round of applause.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Blessings.
Thank you.